Come back to helper dad. Today, we're going to learn how to use Contentful with React. Contentful is a headless CMS that provides the content infrastructure you need for all sorts of digital experiences, and React is a fantastic JavaScript library for building user interfaces. Combining the two allows for dynamic content delivery and very easy content management. This guide will walk you through setting up a Contentful space, configuring React, fetching the data, and, of course, displaying the content. First, we'll set up a Contentful space by creating an account and logging in, then creating a new space. Next, we'll define our content models, such as blog post, page, or product, and specify the fields for each, like title, body, or image, and also set the field types, specifying text, rich text, or media. After that, we'll add content entries based on these content models. Finally, we'll get our Contentful space ID and content delivery API key from the Contentful web interface, located under Settings, then API Keys. ext, let's create a React project. We'll set up a new React project using Create React App or a similar tool using the command npx create React App myContentful app followed by cd myContentful app. Then, we'll install the Contentful JavaScript SDK using either npm install Contentful or yarn add Contentful. Now, it's time to configure the Contentful client in React. We'll create a file, for example, contentful.js, to initialize the Contentful client. We'll import the createClient function from the Contentful package. Then, we'll create a client instance using our space ID and content delivery API key, such as import createClient from Contentful, const client equals createClient, space, your underscore space underscore ID, access token, your underscore content underscore delivery underscore API underscore key, export default client. Remember to replace those placeholders with your actual credentials, and also to securely store your API keys using environment variables. Ready to fetch the data from Contentful. We'll import the Contentful client into our React component. Use the client.getEntries method to fetch content entries, specifying the content underscore type parameter to filter by content model, and use other query parameters to further refine the results. Also, remember to use the useEffect hook to fetch data when the component mounts. Here's an example. Import React, useState, useEffect, from React, import client from /contentful, function app, const, posts, setPosts, equals useState, useEffect, equals, client.getEntries, content underscore type, blog post, then, response, equals, setPosts, response.items, catch, console.error, return, // JSX code to display posts, export default app. Make sure to replace blog post with your actual content model ID. ETs display the content in React. Iterate over the fetched content entries and access field values using entry.fields.fieldName. Render the content in your React components JSX. Use appropriate HTML elements for different field types, for example, img for images, p for text, and consider using a library like React Markdown to render rich text. Here's an example within the app component from above. Return div h1 blog post /h1 posts.map post equals div key equals post.sys.id h2 post.fields.title /h2p post.fields.description /p post.fields.featuredimage and img src equals post.fields.featuredimage.fields.file.url alt equals post.fields.featuredimage.fields.title /div/div. Finally, if you're dealing with rich text, here's how to handle it. First, install React Markdown to render Contentful's rich text using the command npm install React Markdown or yarn add React Markdown. Then, import the React Markdown component, pass the rich text field's JSON value to React Markdown, and handle embedded assets and entries using renderers. In conclusion, integrating Contentful with React empowers developers to build dynamic websites with manageable content. This guide covered the basic steps of setting up Contentful, fetching data, and displaying it in a React application. Explore advanced features like content previews, webhooks, and GraphQL API to further enhance your workflow. Now, go build something amazing. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Helper Dad.